would say to swish with cod liver oil. I believe that was it. Looks they want the rest to happen. Oh, I see. Oh. I feel your pain. Feel your pain, celestial soul. Okay. How's everybody doing? Hey, Holly, Amy, and Rachel, Sandy and Cindy, Lydia, Lisa. Good to see all you guys. Harry Knight. Getting ready to sleep soon. Yep, it is about that time, huh? Andrew would always call it, you're getting the Sunday afternoon blues, the Sunday evening blues. So that happened a lot. I had to go to work tomorrow and start the week over. Weekend's gone. So that always sucks. I always hate not looking forward to having to think about tomorrow. Hey, Bonnie. You don't see me? Uh-oh. It was a good day. I got to ride my bike, and that was nice. And it'd been a while since I've gotten to do that. It was pretty cold. I had some gloves that I wore. They're just like work gloves, and wind could kind of go right through them. I'm excited to have these gloves that Laura got me. Thank you so much, Laura, for those things. And that face thing, it seems tight, but I think it's supposed to be that way to kind of keep you warm and not let the wind get in, because the wind just cuts through. I had a little hoodie on. It didn't really make a difference at all because the wind goes right through your hoodie, and it was terrible. But hard day for me. Today would have been my 25th wedding anniversary. Husband passed away 2 years ago. Ah, Cheryl, I'm so sorry. I totally understand. 25th. Yeah. You just had a couple years up on me and Andrea. I don't have anything to tell you to make it feel better, that's for sure. Almost midnight here in Massachusetts. Got to be at work at 7 a.m. Well, we're glad you're here wasting the last of your good time with us. With me, anyways. Hanging out. Yeah, East Coast. Yeah, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30. Yeah, almost midnight. Short work week because of Thanksgiving. That's true. I got to make sure I don't accidentally schedule stuff on Thursday. Yeah. Biking gloves is a good gift. Yeah, it was. So the kids were excited about the snack boxes. They really were. They already said. I heard. I think it's Sophia said twice already. I know what I'm going to have in the morning for breakfast. They've been dying to have some oatmeal, and they haven't had any, and I haven't gotten back to get any. And I was going to get a box or so that I had on Thursday, then I just forgot. But will they eat the applesauce and the combos? Once someone's tried it, see, as a snack box starts dwindling, they get desperate. And they think, well, I want to have a snack. All that's in there is applesauce. I guess I'll eat them. I'm sure they'll love them. They may even eat them first. I'm not absolutely positive. So, well, we'll see. Football and Black Friday sales. Oh, that reminds me. I was about to come back on my fantasy team. I don't know if I did. Oh, man, it's still close. I got a 68% chance of winning. Oh, man. No words, just heartbreak. Yeah, I know, Cheryl. I know. Hope you know I mean well. Only mentioned that earlier because I care about girls' hair. Myself a lot of long hair. Oh, I wasn't worried about Princess Bubblegum. I will absolutely look into it. I don't know about that sort of a thing, and But it certainly can't hurt to have some. So no, wasn't worried about it. Chat isn't moving. It should be. I looked more happier when April was there. I don't know about that or not, but you're supposed to be in bed, sweet girl.
You want me to keep your room.
Oh, you're still cleaning up your room? Chores kind of got done a little late tonight, didn't they? Usually we have chores done, and then they're ready for bed, and they hadn't even done chores, and it was past their bedtime by the time we were doing the video. What are you trying to win? Fantasy football. I don't know how I get roped into fantasy football and fantasy basketball every year. I have a bunch of friends who are super wild into it from California, and they always want me to join. I have a very strong opinion that it's exactly random and there's almost no skill to it. And so that view has led them to invite me every year. And I actually pick my team by rolling dice, and I call it random chance. And so it always irritates them. But guess who's in number one place out of 12 in the league? It's me. And I rolled dice. So that's all I got to say. I'm 7-3, I think. And the guy says, "Yeah, but look at how many people have scored points on you. You have the lowest in the league. People have scored against you." That's just. I was like, "Yeah, I know. It's just pure random." And of course, that irritates them because they want to think it's all skill based or mostly skill based, and knowing who the right player is, who the right teams are, the best matchups, and blah blah blah. And I rolled dice, and I'm winning, so it's super fun. I don't understand fantasy football. You basically pick players, just like you just of all the players that play football, you pick some, and whenever they make yards or catch passes or make points, they get these fantasy points. And whenever they do good, your team does good, and you pick a team, and you got to pick one for every position that you would normally play in a game of football, and you got to pick a quarterback and a running back and a wide receiver, all that kind of thing, and then you see how you do, and you play other people. A lot of people have a lot of fun doing it. I'm enjoying it because I'm winning. So, I have done my fair share of gloating, and which of course irritates them too, which just tickles me. Does take skill, time, trust, and believe. Well, I rolled dice, and I'm 7-3. So that's all I got to say. I should show you. I don't know if there's any team names in here you're going to be offended by, but I don't know if you can see it, but there's my guy on top. And I rolled dice to pick my guys. It was fun. Make points, because they don't actually get points, because you get fantasy points just for catching a pass, just for making yards. So it's not like a touchdown is only way you get points. That's not how it works. So it's not like you earn the points or yeah. Who's my QB? Lamar Jackson. He's my QB. He's doing pretty good. Team name is Random Chance. Have all your kids started with ACE? I'm going to teach my kids some to read. I'm hoping to find a good program. Yeah, all of our kids have done ACE exclusively, never anything else, all through their whole school careers. Ultimately, 30-something, it doesn't make a difference what you use. It doesn't make a difference. ACE's phonics program is particularly strong. They do it a lot longer than other curriculums because I think they think that reading is a foundation for everything else, which of course it is. And so they do it. I think you do it for preschool, kindergarten, and first grade. You do their phonics, and which a lot of people do, but it just seems to go a lot slower and last longer than others. And it's a very good one. Proud of me. And how was the bike ride? It was really fun. It was super cold. I was freezing by the time I came back. The wind just cuts through you. It was 41 degrees outside, so that's probably the limit to how cold I really want to ride in. I'm not so sure I want to ride any colder than that. Ah, nice, Holly. Like I said, I got Lamar Jackson, but I got him by rolling. Of course, it all depends on what you got in draft order. So I rolled the dice and I picked whatever 1 through 6. I picked whoever was on the list and just randomly went through that way. Where's Cornelius? I'm not positive. He's probably sleeping somewhere or he went outside. It's not uncommon for him to go outside and just stay out all night. I'm pretty sure that's when he goes to his other home. So, homeschool, preschool next year. How fun. Enjoy it, 30-something. Those are some of the most fun memories we have is doing those things. Hey there, Kara. Seahawks. There's lots of Seahawks fans. I'm not really a fan of any team anymore. I used to say I'm a Dolphins fan, but that was back when Dan Marino was a thing, and he hasn't been a thing for a long time. So I still say Dolphins, even though I couldn't probably name one player that they play with. Hey there, Foxy One. Hey, Zoe. Zoe. Holy Zoe. Zoe, I don't know. Zoe is the Greek for life. The bonus page gives me nightmares. Dolphins have a great year. I haven't paid attention. I don't watch anything. I only watch my fantasy points going up. 60-year-old now, but I homeschooled 3 children for 25 years. Wow. Kids to read was a solitary goal for first grade, and I always used phonics. By the way, my first name is Andrea. Oh, hey, feminine energy. Well, I'm glad to know you. Boy, 64 years old, and you homeschooled for 25 years in total, 3 children. So that you were homeschooling when it was hard, when you could get in trouble, when the law was more against you. You had to keep your kids inside instead of playing outside, so the truant officers didn't go by and yell at you. Well, hey, California-grown Carissa. We opened something from you tonight that was really nice. I can't remember now what it was, but we certainly appreciate all the gifts that we got today. Hockey, though, I can't watch any sports, but honestly, I can't watch hockey the most. Like, I can actually, if I have to choose what I want to watch, football is definitely number one. I liked playing football in high school, and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't something that I like watching, and so it's not something that I care about. After that, probably baseball and then basketball, but I don't watch any of those things. Don't act like I'm watching them. I'm not. But if I was sitting down forced to watch something, it'd be way low on the list. Red Zone every Sunday. Okay, so a red zone's a thing. Every now and then, it'll say my guy's in the red zone, and I thought that meant he was doing good, and I can click to watch. But maybe that's actually going to make me watch this red zone show. I don't know anything about it. Oh, it was the gummies from the UK. Oh, okay. Um, yeah, I didn't know that's the one that the sour ones. That's right. So that's usually the star mix, and I never seen a sour one. You guys get much better ones in Europe because I mean their headquarters is Germany, right? I think they're from Germany. That's where Haribo is based out of. So I mean they get the coolest stuff, and we only get the stuff dumb Americans like to eat that are not as good. Ever been to Colorado Springs? I think we have. That might be where we got Knuckles from. We had to get Knuckles. It was just outside of Denver because they passed a pit bull ban, and that dog Knuckles was a pit bull, even though he was not a pit bull. Uh, that's a pejorative term. It doesn't mean anything. While there is a breed now called pit bull, that's not really a breed. It's more of a negative word that people say. Keep down there in the red zone. It makes sense, Holly Dolly. I was usually pretty good at different sports and I was in high school, but it's because I was so tall. I was 6'2" in junior high, and so it was great. Everybody was wanting me to play for them in basketball, and I was the nerdy kid, so they always would back up, or come in. Like when we played baseball, they would, oh, Mills is up, everybody scooch in, and then I'd hit away over their heads, and it's the most. I wake up in the middle of the night dreaming about those days. Those were the most fun I remember having through school. Wait, you don't get the same Haribo as us? No. I mean, we get some of the classics. Like we get the Gold Bears. Um, you'll see the gummy frogs on occasion. Every now and then you'll see different things. We get some things you don't get. There's the gummy dinosaurs. I don't think you get those. I haven't seen anybody talk about getting them in Europe. They're really big, and they're kind of American style. You got to fill your whole mouth with a giant. But what's neat about the Haribo is that, like in Trolley or Black Forest, they have different gummies, but they're just the same darn gummies in different shapes. It's just they change the shapes. Haribo, every single different gummy candy, tastes different and unique. And so that's really fun. That is great, but no religion in it. Oh, well, I'm sure there's lots of them. But who's the one that was it? Ron Paul? Ron Paul made a homeschool curriculum. Although I can't say it doesn't have religion in it. That's the best part with me. Heck with nutrition. I'd rather talk about football all day. Yeah, I probably give you anxiety attacks when I talk about my opinions on nutrition. Probably football too, for that matter. Amazon love finding. I found those on Amazon, different ones that I travel. Yeah, you can of course order most things. Not the candy you saw at the store the other day. It's really for kids. I got a million comments about that candy, but it does not look like kids. Every now and then you'll see these. If you're going to sell candy to kids, why put the main picture on the front, a cat and a dog, and call them woofy treats or something? What I can't remember now what they're called. Some sort of thing to make it totally. I totally thought it was a thing for dogs. I guess it's not. There's a toy for dogs inside of the kid treats. I mean, the whole thing is strange to me. But Mist was. I'm gonna go against the grain here. Mist was a stupid game. It was a stupid game. Yes, the graphics were amazing. Whoopity doo. It was a boring, old school Return to Zork style game with good graphics. It was super hard, and I didn't consider it a very good game. It still will get you in the nostalgia feels, They're redoing it, right? Or did they redo it? I think they redid it on VR. I think Miss is coming out on VR if it hasn't already. Once bought ice cream for my kids, but it was for dogs. Yeah, that's my example. You seem in a good mood. It's nice. Oh, well, thank you. Am I in a good mood? I try not to think about it. You know, we loved watching Friends. Me and Andrea watched Friends all the way through several times. And there's that one episode, I think about it a lot these days, where they're getting bullied at the coffee shop, and Chandler and Ross don't want to go down there because they're afraid they're going to get bullied and kicked out. And they start going down there to have instant coffee. And they say how terrible it is, but they said, you got to stir it. Never let it settle. Never let it settle. And they're trying to, it's too hot, and they're drinking it, trying to get out of there real fast before the bullies come. And I feel like that's the story of my life right now. Never let it settle. Never let it settle. So I can't let my brain settle in any kind of a thought process, because then I remember how much my life sucks. So I try not to do that. And when I'm talking to you guys, it's always really nice and happy, because it just is. I like talking to you guys. It helps me a lot. So, but it hasn't been all that good. I've been pretty miserable. Ever get 120 stars to find Yoshi? In Super Mario, I got all the stars. In 64, you mean? I got all the stars, every single one. I don't remember anything about finding Yoshi, so I don't know if that was a thing, or I just don't remember. But I remember getting all the stars was a big deal, and I got them before there was game guides that could tell you. That was before everything was on the internet too, and so it was. I enjoyed the heck out of getting all the stars. Wasn't there 121 actually? Like the last one was a real big one or something. I can't remember. You have Netflix. I recommend Queen's Gambit. It's incredible. Everybody says that it's great. I haven't seen it yet. I don't have a lot of time. I have several animes that I've been going through there, watching on Netflix. I don't have much time to watch Netflix. Maybe I'll watch a show when I'm laying down trying to fall asleep in the night. That's one of the things I like my VR for. My Oculus, the new Oculus Rift. There's no wires, and I can just lay in bed, put it on my head, and all of a sudden I'm in the middle of a movie, my own personal movie theater, watching Netflix on a huge, giant movie theater screen. It's so entertaining. Absolutely love it. And so every now and then when I can't sleep, I'll watch stuff. But I don't have time. It takes me a long time to go through any kind of a series. So I'll have to check it out. My goal is to check it out at some point. I highly doubt he's watched Friends before. Who? I've watched all the Friends. I know all the episodes. I didn't watch them to begin with. I watched them because Andrea wanted me to watch them. She says I'm Ross, but I always wished that I was Chandler. So, and she says, no, Tommy, you're Ross. I said, no, I'm not. I'm Chandler. And she says, it's okay. Ross is the cutest one. He's the one I like. I'm like, oh, well, okay. But she keeps thinking I always wanted to be Chandler, but I was Ross. Can you YouTube on Oculus? Yeah, you can do anything on there. I actually have the movie theater thing that I'm running lately. It's actually called Virtual Desktop. So I actually have my own personal movie theater, and it's in my computer screen. So then I actually load Netflix from my computer downstairs, and I get to watch it on the screen. So I get to do all my computers. So I can check my email, I can approve YouTube comments, or do anything I could on my computer from the middle of my bed with the headset on. It's super fun. I love it, and it's really relaxing. I can't do VR because I can't see a thing without my glasses. Well, you can wear your glasses with VR. You're trying the wrong headset if you can't wear your glasses. You can use your glasses on any of them, and the new Oculus actually comes with a special insert for glasses. So I get a new quest for Christmas. I want to try the kickboxing out. Ooh, that sounds fun. I didn't know they had that. You watch Frowns? Well, okay, I was wrong. I've never seen one episode. Yeah, I watched it all the way through. Every episode 3 times at least, 4 times maybe. Andrea really laughed on it. In fact, it's funny, something struck me one time. We were going through Friends one of the many times that we did, and she made chicken Alfredo, which she loved to make that for just herself. She would make chicken Alfredo for dinner sometimes, and she'd have dinner usually after all the kids are in bed and we would be hanging out. And so she made chicken Alfredo, and she sat right over there on the couch. And I had this random thought that I'm going to videotape her watching this Friends episode, because one day maybe she'll die and I'll be able to watch it and just watch her watch it. And so I put the camera on her and I hit record, and I sat there for a full half an hour. She was just eating her dinner and watching the show. She never once looked over at me. She never had any idea that I was recording her. And you can hear the episode that's playing. And so I've often thought I could set up a screen here or something and play it while I put that episode on and watch an episode with her. I haven't been able to bring myself to do that yet, but that's in the back of my mind always, that I have that video. And the reason why I liked watching Friends, it was entertaining and it was funny, but she would really crack up sometimes, and watching Andrea laugh was my most favorite thing in the world to do. The Office. We love The Office. Andrea loved The Office. We never got to finish it. We were very late to the party on Office, and we were going through the episodes, and she died before we finished them. So someday I'd like to finish them. In my own stupid, sappy, romantic mind, I keep thinking maybe God will bring me another woman someday and I can finish it with her. For some reason that has some sort of parody in my mind as being a cathartic thing to do. So I've been kind of holding out for that, if that ever happens. Here's hoping. Love to see it. It's not even that interesting. It's just her eating food, eating her chicken Alfredo, and just sitting there. Although maybe other people would like to do that. Although I'd probably get in trouble with Friends copyright stuff if I put it up. Made a comment on a passive video. Would you answer my question? It would make more sense if I could comment on that particular video. Yeah, I see all the comments. Every comment made across any video that you could watch. And so I actually very much enjoy when you guys go binging old videos. Who was watching videos today? Somebody was binging a video that I was really surprised that they did. Oh, it was the video where I was getting harassed by some comments of a more sexual nature. And so I addressed that, and somebody made a comment on that. And it was really nice to see. When you guys see stuff that's important, that's special to you on Andrea on the old videos, I enjoy going back and then checking it out, because I didn't watch all the videos. I haven't seen all of our videos. I never wanted to watch our videos because I lived our videos. You know what I mean? So I haven't seen a majority of them, but I plan to go back and watch them someday. Don't give up, Tom. You never know. She could be out there for you. I hope so. My favorite is Everybody Loves Raymond. I never liked that show. I never liked that show. They always thought it was funny, and I didn't like it. Like Monty Python. So at the time it was out, I didn't really care for it. Now I can appreciate it more. You know, when we watch the videos, I don't know. Well, I mean, I get to see, I see what people's watching as far as the numbers going up, but mostly when you make a comment. If you make a comment on an old video, then I know you're watching those things, and I go back and check them out. Some stuff is better than memory, too painful to relive. That's true. Andrea taking some time for herself. She spent most of all the time in life like one of those kids. Nice to know she had her quiet times, too. She did, not very frequently, but she enjoyed hanging out with me whenever she did, and I enjoyed that, too. You're so busy with the kids in present time that you could watch the videos with them when they get a little older. Yeah, we talked about that. Friends has actually got a lot of filthy humor in it. We actually set out one time to watch Friends with Thomas watched them all, and we liked them. and had lots of good conversations about the content and the videos, and that was nice. It got good teaching moments. We tried to watch them with Asher once, and he didn't like the Judah too. We were gonna watch. We watched a couple, and they were not comfortable with some of the sex content, and so we turned it off. Oh, thanks, Samuel. Love when you talked about you don't just say, "Oh, Judah, sorry, we don't have food for you." Oh, yeah, yeah. As far as feeding the kids, I'm not saying Every Raymond isn't a good show. It's a fine show. I just never saw it. In my mind, I was scraping the bottom of the barrel when I was watching that. Staying single for a while. I've been single for years. I don't think my mate is on this planet. I don't want to hear that. That's not me. I wasn't made to be single, unfortunately. God made me since I was a little boy. I just wanted to be a wife. A wife. I wanted to be a husband and a daddy, and I still have that dream. We're in the 90s show discussion. Apparently, I love when she would say she needed Tommy time. Yeah, she'd say Tommy time. Yep. Yeah. She was such a good woman. I can't think about that. Never let it settle. Never let it settle. I watch y'all's past Thanksgiving. I love your family. Aw, that might be a fun thing to watch. Naughtiness on Friend can be embarrassing to young men and women. Yeah. I mean, it's the way the world is, and it is filthy. That's not the kind of show I would definitely, I don't enjoy it when they go there, when they talk about those things. But it is the way people live. That is the way people live. And so we have good conversations when they come up about why they choose to do these things, why is this happening, what's their goal in life, and we bring up, of course, what God wants for us and our family. I see it as a good opportunity to take the training wheels off every now and then and let them make their own opinions. I'm actually extremely happy. I love that picture of Andrea. Extremely happy that it makes the kids uncomfortable and they don't like it, and that's good. What about Seinfeld? You know, this is going to make me look a blasphemer, but I've never watched it. I saw a couple random episodes when they happened to be on, but I never got into Seinfeld. Andrea loved it, but it was before we met. My favorite videos of birthdays standing in the same spot. Oh yeah. Sometimes it needs to settle to heal. I don't want it to settle. I can't let it settle. I'm missing too many good comments. I'm sorry, guys. As a teen, I didn't get most of the jokes. Yeah, sure. Andrew's budgeting videos are my favorites, and a video about losing loved ones make me cry every time. Yeah. Love you want to be a husband. Most men these days just want to be a boyfriend. I'm 36 and never been married. Wow. I can't imagine that. That's like having the candy bar and not eating the candy bar. Awesome. Thank you. You found a YouTube channel after your wife passed away, and I'm watching all them right now. Your wife was such an amazing woman. She was, Felicia. Thank you. King of Queens was funny. I don't like that guy. The big guy, Paul Blart, whatever he is real. I don't remember his real name. I don't like that guy. So I have a hard time with that one. But it had some funny stuff, funny spots on it. Should Christians be entertained by sin? That's a great question. I kind of was surprised it hadn't come up before that, Carolyn. The question is the Bible says we are to be in this world, but not of this world. Jesus went to places of sin and ate at sinners' houses. And he entertained prostitutes. And I'm sure they would have asked Jesus the same question. So it's not a matter of being entertaining the sin. It's that you can't take the sin out of the world. In 1 Corinthians 5, Paul says, I wrote to you in my letter previously not to associate with sexually immoral people. Not at all meaning the people of this world that are sexually immoral, for then you would have to leave this world. But I now write to you not to associate with anyone who calls himself a brother and is sexually immoral. With such a man do not even eat. So Jesus didn't eat with the Pharisees and the Sadducees. He didn't eat with the hypocrites. He ate with the sinners. And again, I don't like it when they put sin in front of us. But at the same time, it is the way it is. We can try to protect our kids by hiding sinful things from them, but I personally, and Andrea personally, we believe that's absolutely the wrong way to raise children. Obviously, when they're younger, especially boys, you need to hide them from certain things and protect their eyes from these things. But eventually, they're going to be exposed to them. And if you wait till your kids leave the house to be exposed to those things, when you're not there to help them understand and to deal with them and to be able to put things in the right perspective, I think you're doing your kids a disservice. That's my personal opinion on it. Again, that's Andrea's personal opinion on it. And so we very much enjoy things like Friends, because when we watch them, we have a conversation. We literally pause it and we say, now, why do they put this in there? What is their purpose in putting this scene in the show? They'll say, well, it's because people like that. And it sells. Yep, that's true. And are there people that do these things? Yeah, there is. Why would they do those things? Well, they're trying to fill a hole in their life and blah, blah, blah. We have great Bible studies and conversations around those things. So my question to everybody else would be, are you truly in the world? If you're in your own little corner being a Christian and you stay away from everything that's evil all the time, I say no. But I understand where you come from, and don't let me convince you otherwise. If you think it's wrong for that, then you should not do it, and that's great. I'm just trying to tell you what our logic on it is. Of course, you can take that as a liberty and go off and go. Let's go to a strip club. Right? That's a great opportunity to teach kids to go to a strip club. And again, that's again crossing the line. So I mean, where's the line? I don't know, but I think we should do our best to try to find out where that is. So. But laughing at sin? Who said I'm laughing at sin? I literally just sat here and told you that we pause the video and talk about it. I'm not saying, look at that sin. It wasn't that a good sin. I love sin. I mean, that's not how we're watching the show. We don't enjoy those parts. There's plenty of funny parts in the show that's not sex related. Plenty. So I understand where you're coming from, Caroline. In fact, I would have to say probably in the church, most people believe like you, not me. I fully admit that our family is the weird outlier, and we do a lot of things differently. We believe a lot of things in the Bible differently because we read the Bible under a different, I guess. And so we see things in a different light. I used to be exactly in that same boat. We were exactly there. And we come to realize what actually is important in this world is to equip our children and to equip the next generation, that our family would be a light and on fire for the Lord and doing his will. And yes, I think that it definitely involves training your children. You can sit there and teach them a lesson, but unless you've seen somebody else in your life to make an example out of, I just think it's just how we do it. I'm not going to say any more about it. The office catchphrase is still news. That's what she said. Andrea said it too. TV shows and news is about indoctrinating us. That's what they call the TV program and channels, aka channeling. And I woke up to the corruption. I can't watch the BS. Well, that's fine. We don't watch TV. We watch series or whatever. We'll download stuff, but we don't just watch regular shows. We did the opposite. Hid the evil and sin in the world from our children, and it backfired. So you speak wisdom. I can't tell you how many people that I know personally that happened to. That I know people. I'm someone I've been talking to lately who had that very exact thing, and they grew up in a very fundamental family, and they raised their kids very strict, and after the kid got older, they sent him to one of those military camp things for kids, and he came back with all the porn in the world, ended up ruining their whole marriage, dissolving their whole family, and it took control of that person's life. And I dare say, you ever watch a little bit of Friends and have an honest conversation with your kids? It doesn't have to be Friends; it could be anything. We do this about billboards. When we see a billboard with a sexy girl on it, well, that's the first thing we talk about. Is why do they put those up there? Guys like boobs. That's why. That's what they'll tell you, and that's absolutely true. And that sex sells, and that's what they're trying to sell their product, and that's what they're doing. They know guys will automatically, we were made by God to desire certain things. That's just how it goes. And if we don't master it, it will master us. And so I can't tell you how many people I know that story is exactly true, feminine energy. So, but as I've aged, I've seen that living the holy life is more important than me being entertained. Just my thought, no judgment. Thank you, Carolyn. Tried to do it the other way, keeping the bad stuff away from my son, and it backfired. Of course, when he was at his father's house, I don't know what he saw. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Let's just say you could do it. Let's say you could raise a kid from 1 to 18, never seeing anything bad at all. Never seeing any sin, never seeing anything evil, never seeing anything bad. 1 to 18. You would get to his 18 and say, yes, we are the greatest parents. We did it. And you know what's going to happen? He's going to leave your house, and he's going to see all this sinful thing, and he's going to get entrapped by it. And guess who won't be there to help him? You won't be there to help him. Or if you will, you'll be far away. He'll be at his home. He can literally watch anything he wants on TV or on his computer, and there's nothing you can do to stop him. You're better to help kids while you're there than not. And I'm a very firm believer of that. Earlier, I sat here and colored a Christmas coloring book instead of watching TV. Yep, give us some thumbs up while you're at it. There's, how many people are here? 456. So we can get some more people in here. Go down and like the video. You like the video a whole bunch. This video gets a couple hundred likes all of a sudden. You'll see a bunch of people join up. That's just how YouTube works. My son became an atheist. I'm so sorry. All the shows are The Simpsons, Star Trek, sitcoms. Absolutely. They do. Simpsons is a really great example. Simpsons is one of the examples that you miss a lot of times. And my kids understand The Simpsons. I mean, if we watch The Simpsons, they don't ever watch Simpsons. That's not something we watched. But they're familiar with it. And it's the same thing with like Family Guy. There are several others where they reverse the family. They have this funny show. Dad is a stupid idiot. Mom and the kids are super smart. And, the mom does the things the dad does. The dad's an idiot who is a loser. And the kids are always the ones that bail out the parents. And that's the message of that show a lot of times. And my kids are aware of that message. They see that message. And so the only trap that you can fall into is the one you don't see. And I think as parents, our primary job is in this world, in this day and age, is to show them all the traps. Think about nature versus nurture. Yeah, I was not allowed to watch bad things as a child. My husband, the opposite. I think both turned out well. Every way can work. Ultimately, as parents, we do not control the souls of our children. So they're going to be their own selves. They're going to have their own vices, their own everything. Again, we're just training them. That doesn't say you can't do it either way and come out fine. You absolutely can. This is just the way we have decided. We've decided what's important in life is preparing the next generation. That's why we like Naruto. We talk about Naruto night on Thursdays. That's a Japanese cartoon show, but you know what? The underlying message of all of Naruto is passing the torch to the next generation, training the children for the next generation. That's what Naruto is about. Yeah, does it got super cool ninja moves? Yeah, it absolutely does. It's super awesome. But the absolute message of that show is a show of heritage and legacy and training up the next generation. And I think that's awesome. That's what we view everything as. And so do you get trained with things that you don't need? Are there things you learn in school you'll never use? How often do you use, pi r squared? Baby, don't come over here. Don't come over here. What do you need, buddy? Listen to some stories on Alexa, okay? Why don't you get a Jolly Rancher? Hope you didn't miss my comment. It was made after you said, I want to be a good wife. My response was, LOL, not at all in response to sin. Oh, no, I wasn't talking about you, Kim. I was responding to Carolyn on that one. You point, Tom, my sister is raised 3 sons the same way. And, of course, you hope you train your kids all about how to deal with porn, and you hope they never have to use those skills, right? That's what you hope. Does that mean they should go learn about how to deal with porn and then go watch some porn and see if it worked? No, that's absolutely not true. You don't drink poison to see if God will save you. That's not correct. But you exercise muscle. Hebrews says, who those by constant use have trained themselves to distinguish good from evil. Think about that. Why do we need to train ourselves to distinguish good and evil? Isn't that obvious? Isn't good and evil black and white? We just know, man, killing people bad, loving your neighbor good. Is that all it is? I am now a master of Christianity? No, I don't think that's true at all. That's why I think Hebrews says what it says, through those who by constant use have trained themselves to distinguish good from evil, because it isn't black and white. It's extremely gray. And the things you think are black and white, that's easy. Don't watch sin. I mean that's easy. I'm not saying that you need to do something that's hard necessarily, but sometimes there's much more deep things that need to be done. Pi r squared, yeah. I couldn't think of another one. Density equals mass divided by volume. How often do you use that one? Really personal, but here goes my son, 18, bought girly magazines and broke my heart. However, it gave me the opportunity to talk to him about it versus lust versus love. Yeah, I think that's very true, Nina. And it happens to everybody, especially in today's age. You can't escape from it. I've had porn conversations with my boys on multiple occasions. As somebody who was wrapped up in it myself, and it almost took over my life, I'm extremely glad that I can be rid of it now, and I can use that experience to help my kids out. I think porn is the big elephant in every single man's room. It's something that every single male on the face of this planet has to deal with. I don't care if you're a preacher, you're a pastor, or how awesome you are. You can say your husband is super great. He has no problems with it, but he does. I still do. Everybody does. It's a battle that's never won. It's never defeated. It's something that you always have to deal with for as long as we live. So it doesn't necessarily mean you're sitting down and downloading hardcore porn, but you're going to see Victoria's Secret ads. You're going to see movies. The stuff's going to pop up. You're going to see billboards where stuff is there. And you can pretend you don't see it, but you know you do, and you know you like it. And just trying to put things in the right perspective and to honor the Lord is a very difficult task, and it's something we need to stop sending our boys off unprepared to deal with these things. Stop, drop, and roll. Need to be taught the realities of life. Just be cautious of what they see you laughing at. That really expounds on godliness. I don't think that it does, Carolyn. Myself, I understand where you're coming from. But you don't have to worry. My kids don't see me laugh because I don't laugh. I don't laugh at almost anything. Andrea said that the most beautiful thing to her was hearing me laugh for reals. And it's only happened a few times. So it's very rare that I laugh. It's not that I don't think things are funny. It just doesn't make me laugh. And when I do laugh, 90% of the time it's a fake laugh. About every time you guys have ever heard me laugh has been a fake laugh. If I don't have my fake laugh, I look like an unfeeling, heartless robot. So I've got a really good one. And again, I do think it's funny. And so I throw a little laugh in there. But I have to really get caught off guard for a real laugh. So algebra is not useless. Algebra is one of the most important things. Thomas graduate and leave the nest. I know, Nora McNabb. I absolutely agree. That's, her entire existence, in the same way I've been since I was a little boy, wanted to be a husband and a daddy. She wanted to be a mommy and a wife much longer than I ever wanted that dream. And all she wanted to do was have kids and to see grandkids. And she had to do all the hard parts and give birth to 9, 10 children, and not get to see any of them on their own. She used to dream about those things, the height of injustice. But the Lord knows what he's doing. You should laugh. Maybe try antidepressants. Don't hear that wrong. I always see the jokes coming before they come, and it doesn't make me laugh. This is a shame to say. I've had a few good laughs at Rick and Morty because the jokes are out of left field. If you want to have some filthy humor, there's some filthy stuff in Rick and Morty, way worse than Friends. But I just watched that myself. So, but anyways, it's very, very rare that I don't see it coming. I don't see what they're doing, and then I catch it off guard. I just laugh, and Andrea loved it, and I love it. I love to laugh. And again, it's not that I don't think things are funny. I'm not depressed. I see a funny joke. I think, that's funny. That was great. But I don't actually go ha 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 and start laughing. It just doesn't happen. Because you got that green candy stuck in your mustache. That could be. Maybe she still gets to see them growing. She does, Princess Bubblegum. I'm 85% certain that she does. So that's great. I don't understand how her eyes work now, but I think not real laughing runs in the family. See? We watched those. We used to do those things on YouTube. Hardest ever. Try not to laugh videos, and we play them, and I can beat them all. None of them make me laugh. Who is it? We'll put the volume down a little. Put it on 5 or 4, and you play some. Okay? Tell them Daddy said you could. Judah, if you're watching, Solly can listen to some Alexa stories. In my ticklish, I'm going to say no, but you'll never know. I hate to bring this up, but they have med bed technology has been kept from us. I don't know what you're talking about. Little House on the Prairie, Andrea loved that too. The courtesy laugh and the real laugh when you can't control it. I agree. I think everybody does have a courtesy laugh, and that's about all you guys see. Wonder why you learned to squelch laughter. Maybe unresolved loss laughter. It's not a matter of that, Caroline. It really isn't. It's a matter of the fact that it's just not funny enough to make me laugh. I see it. I think it's funny. I enjoy it. And I guess you can say I'm laughing on the inside. I think it's funny. I'm not sitting there thinking, that's stupid and lame. I enjoy it. I enjoy the jokes. I think it's funny. But it's got to catch me off guard to make me laugh. I'm trying to think of an example. There's a couple of jokes in shows that, there's one where in Rick and Morty, where the guy, he's at Rick and Morty, you don't know, it's a filthy show. The guy's a hardcore atheist in it, but I think maybe he's got some God influences sometimes. But besides that, he's in a simulation, computer simulation, and he's trying to crash the simulation. You don't realize that's what he's trying to do. And he's trying to, he gets a big crowd of people. He's want to sing a song. He says, I need more people. He gets more people there. Everybody who has run in a circle with your age divided by the square root of your waist size, and he's giving them all these math problems to do. And can you imagine he crashes it? I found that hilarious. And I had a real laugh when it happened. Because as a computer guy, I knew what he was doing. And I just enjoyed it, and it tickled me, and I laughed. But it's very rare that it's a real genuine laugh. I'm not squelching things. It's just I don't laugh. Now, if you put me around other people to laugh, you put Sal. Sal has been here a couple times. He's my best friend from California. Sal laughs at anything. Anything. And if you put him around me and he's laughing at something, he'll get to the point where he's laughing so hard that he can't breathe and his stomach is hurting. That will make me real laugh. Seeing somebody else laugh. Andrea would start doing that. She would start laughing to where she said her eyelids were going to flip inside out because she would squint when she laughed. My eyelids hurt. They're going to flip inside out. And we shoot. There's certain YouTube videos that would make her just instantly bust up laughing. And every time we saw one of those, I'd write down the video and the timestamp. And I always intended on making an Andrea's special funny video where I seam all those together and make the video for her. And she'd always say, Tommy, you're going to kill me someday when you play that video. And she never got to see it, but I never made it. But Andrea laughs, I will be laughing, real laughing. But again, not because the thing was funny, but because I have so much fun seeing somebody I love feeling good and laughing. So. I'm you can sit here and hate on us for what you think that we are not doing with regards to our kids' mental health, and but it's not your business what their mental health is. So I apologize. I hope that doesn't sound harsh or rude, but it isn't your business. It's my business. And I have several children that write me journals, and I write them back. I lost my dad at 10. I understand where they're at. I know what they're going through, and I'm doing my best to take care of those things. So I don't have to necessarily tell you guys what's going on in my life to have some sort of justification for anything. So you know what Andrea would make her laugh? There was a guy, he was called the Underground Grammarian. And he was a guy writing under a pseudonym, and he would just make fun of people's grammar publicly. And he would write these stories on. These essays are still available on the internet. And she would read them, and she would laugh herself hysterical. So if you want to see what Andrea's sense of humor is, look up the Underground Grammarian and enjoy. If you're not hating, that's great, Jennifer. I'm glad that you're concerned for us. I appreciate your concern, but I'm doing my best to take care of those things. I am. You guys only see a small part of our life, and anymore, with as infrequently as I edit videos, you just see us on. You just see me talking on live and being sad, and I'm very sorry for that. I swear it will not always be the case. I'm going to figure out how to master this life that I'm in. Right now, my boat is sinking, and I'm trying very hard to keep it up and do all the things that need done. I'm doing all right, but I'm hardly excelling at some things that I would like to do, like editing more videos. I don't have the time to do it. I'm stuck with my time on essentials right now. And even that has me doing stuff from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. Apart from when I get to hang out with you guys, all the kids are in bed. I could be doing something else right now. And believe me, I will be feeling guilty for that nonstop. But sometimes I feel like I'm going to go crazy. I totally understand what it's like to. I understand what people who go crazy must feel like. And I've gone to several, I've been counseling, I was in counseling for months. It wasn't helping in the slightest. I am not going now. This has been the best therapy for me, talking to you guys. You think it's not healthy? Well, my therapist said that it was healthy. So maybe you have a mental health degree and you think that you know better than she does. But my therapist said that this was a very healthy thing to be doing. So you can disagree with her. She encouraged me to do that. Husband doesn't laugh often either, but he laughs in his sleep, and that to me that's funny. Well, that's funny. Are your older boys able to help edit videos? They may be able to do that. Um, I have this list. I see things very logically. I'm an INTJ personality type, and so I see my life as a list of things and goals. Most important being always that I raise my children to be godly men and women and prepare them for their entire life and for the next generation. That's my number one goal. All things must support that goal. So I list off the things that are important for that. And then I list off the things that we need to survive and to run an efficient house. And so they do their chores. They have things they help on. I have they help their brothers and their sisters. They prepare meals for their younger ones. I mean, I put dinner together, but they prepare their plates a lot of times. And so I have things they need to do. But they also are still kids and they need to be doing their own things. They can't just slave away for the family at 24/7. And so I'm not feeling yet like I can tap too much more yet. So I need to figure out some better systems so I can do those things. Amen, Bob. That's a great verse, and it's been getting me through. I mean, getting me through. I think about it all the time. I pray that He's directing my path. That's all I want. I do acknowledge Him in all my ways. So I guess that means He's directing my path. So I'm doing my best. I think women are the rudest, most judgmental people on earth. If Tom had died, women would be have supported Andrea and felt her pain and given her grace because he's a man. He's told how to do it better. That's pretty raw stuff. You're absolutely. I think you're right in a lot of respects, Amy. So, and you know what? As a man, there's lots of things I don't know how to do. I don't know about hair heat treatments. I don't know those things. There's lots of things I don't know, and there's lots of things I can't do. God didn't make me to be the compassionate, empathetic caregiver. I'm doing my best to be that, but it's hard, and I struggle, and especially when I'm in a position where I feel like that's all I want. That's what I want, and nobody can give me that. But I still do my best to give that to my kids, and to be the mom that I know that I can't be. But what else can I do? I don't have any other choices. Yep, Carolyn, I agree. I enjoy this very much. It helps a lot. Well, thank you, JP. A lot better than most men would be doing in a great job. I know that to be true. I know many men who have abandoned their family in the same scenarios, and it's terrible. I'll never do that. It's what's frustrating is that this may sound arrogant. I know that's my one of my problematic struggles in my life is being arrogant. That King Solomon said, "Knowledge puffs up, but love builds up," and that's true. Just knowing the verse, knowledge puffs up, doesn't protect you from knowledge puffing up. I know that the way we raise our kids with these things I'm telling you about, with the struggles that we have, I know that it's the best way to raise children. I understand full well that you guys don't all agree, and that's fine. Everybody does the best they can with what they have, but I know it's the best way. And we are doing some of the best. When Andrea was here, we were nailing it. We were nailing parenting. We were nailing kids. We were nailing a godly lifestyle. We were doing everything that needed to be done. We were raising one of the greatest families on this earth. Is that arrogant? Yeah, it is. But you know what? It doesn't mean it's not true. And I firmly believe that it is. Now that she's gone, that's sliding. And I know that it's sliding, and there's nothing I can do about it. So all I can do is cut my losses, and maybe I'm eating more processed foods, but I find that to be an acceptable thing. In the realm of spirit and physical beings, that's something maybe in the best way, the nutrition argument, maybe you live a lot longer, a lot healthier, feeling greater. That's great. None of that matters in the next life. Not a single one of those things. So I just as soon eat chocolate cake every day if my kids will be godly people than worry about the rest of it. So am I buying more convenience foods to save time? Yes. Am I leaning on the kids more for chores than I ever would have before? Yes. Are we doing our best to cut traditions we need to cut and maintain the ones that I think are important to the structure of our family? Yes. I'm doing those things. So I just do the best that I can. Chuck Norris invented C-sections when he roundhouse kicked the way out of his mother's womb. Yeah, yeah. You know, when Chuck Norris donates blood, he just asks for a gun and a bucket. Oh, did Princess Bubblegum leave? Oh no, somebody else leave. See ya, Claudia. Andrea's with you in the physical sense. She's proud of you and understands your struggle. I think that's true, but it still hurts. Strong man in the faith, Tom. I watch your family because I enjoy watching God work through your family. You do what you need to do. Thank you, man. I certainly appreciate it. I know that this is the work that God wanted me to do. I know that it is, and so I'm doing my best to keep it going. Don't have choices. My first husband left 4 kids pregnant, had to deal with it all. I'm so sorry, Sandy. Why are you cutting yourself down? Please stop. You're an amazing father. Your kids love you and you're doing your best. I am that. I am doing my best, Becky. And I think I'm still doing a pretty good job. I think about it all the time. As I was riding my bike today, I was thinking, if Andrea were here today, what would she say? And she would say, Tommy, stop being a baby. You know, you think God's not going to take care of you anymore? And I would say, no, of course he's going to. Well, then don't worry about it. It's going to work out. And so I can have that little conversation with her. And she says, look at you. You're doing all the things I did. You didn't even need me. I know that's what she'd be saying. And she'd be wrong, but she would say that. And so I know I'm doing good. We'll figure it out someday. You feed their souls, not their stomach, and that you're doing just great. Well, thank you, Linda. Thank you, Gigi. And Kim. I mean, to tell the kids you don't have anything nice if you don't say it. Yeah. The peace of God which passes all understanding will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Amen. You got a good mind, Bob. God brings you to all the same scriptures He shows me. Thanks for keeping me accountable. I need that. Babies cry when they are born is because they realize they've entered a world of Chuck Norris. I had some other really good Chuck Norris jokes, and now I can't think of them. Oh, thank you, Steph. I'm a widow of 2 years, raising my disabled teenage grandson alone. I'm doing my best. That's all anyone can do. Child is born, not to be taught fear. Amen. Oh, hey, Chad. Spouses die, we have to be taught how to do it alone. Yeah, I know. And to be so proud of you, I just know it. He just pushes the earth down. I had so many really good Chuck Norris jokes. You ever watch him tell him jokes, Chuck Norris jokes to Chuck Norris? There's a video where he's on. People are talking. I don't understand where all this is coming from. I'm pretty sure it all came from the fact that he fought Bruce Lee in the Dragon, and they both acknowledge each other. And Bruce Lee was the god of martial arts, and so he was the one that he was acknowledged by. And so I think it has to do with that. But endometrial cancer. Let's read this week. Can anyone say a prayer? Well, dear Lord, please help Briar Rose to help them get all the cancer and to take care of these things and to keep her safe, and that she be healed in the name of Jesus. Who's Chuck Norris? Man. That's one of the prettiest pictures of Andrea. You can't see it. I'm going to turn the camera around right now. She's so beautiful. maybe that I don't know if it's, I don't know if that person's watching or not. I got a call on my business line from a little old man this week while I was driving home from Eden getting her bike, and he just told me how much our channel meant to him and his wife. And I don't ever get calls from men, and to have a little old man tell me how much what we're going through means to them and how much they enjoy it, and how giving encouragement and just praying for us, it was a really big blessing. Cutest little old man. Andrea would have gotten the biggest kick out of hearing him call, and she had a soft spot for little old men, and it was really special. Be a better parent. I see your patience and love for all your kids. Truly inspiring. Oh, Ray's point. My son graduated high school Friday. Did a course over the weekend. Got a job as a swim instructor. Oh, that's awesome. Kingsley's. I think everybody's Googling Chuck Norris jokes. Mine are off the top of my head. Chuck Norris doesn't sleep. He waits. Thoughts on Mormonism? That's probably a good topic for Bible study night. I'm not opposed to talking about it. I'm definitely a Mormon sympathizer. My kids were all in Boy Scouts. I talk to the Mormons whenever they come to our house, and I have long conversations with them that sometimes involves them getting upset. But most of the time, we have very good conversations. I enjoy talking with them. They're very dedicated, faithful people. I do think that they believe incorrectly on some things, but that doesn't mean I don't love them and I don't appreciate them, and I don't feel personally convicted by their ability to go door to door and have faith on their missions. I think that's great. I think that's the hardest. Yep, Sunshine, I totally agree. Doesn't mean everyone here should find a business number and start calling it. No, I get enough of that. Oh, did Chad say something? Mr. Magoo called you. Oh, yeah, maybe. It's one of those Mormon engagements. Oh, that's right. You were here when I talked to the Mormons. That was fun. That was fun. I can clap with one hand. We actually tried that. With the sound of one hand clapping. Everybody tried to clap with one hand, and I actually got it down pretty good. Chuck Norris is a martial artist from the 80s or 90s, and he has quite a large cult following of people. They think he's invincible, basically. Oh, you're coming up top of your head. That's awesome. I asked you a question way up there. Oh, well, you're going to have to cut and paste. Let me see. Magoo called you. At least they're blue. You created a log out button on a website using HT access for director permissions. Oh, man. Yeah. Sorry, man. I've been out of that game for too long. I haven't done websites in a very long time. You'll find it. Can't help you, buddy. They're honestly such lovely people in general. They are. They are. Trying to find my religion. I was raised Baptist. I'm talking to a pastor's. Every religion got the ways to go. So many questions still to ask, but I know I love God. That's awesome, Kimberly. I would say stick to the Bible. Know the Bible inside and out. Read it and study it. You can do that on your own. You don't need anybody else to do that. Whatever that makes you is what I am. So I don't like denominations. It's interesting, the word demon is almost in denominations. Anyways, the idea that we need to divide on the things we don't agree with, I think is absolutely backwards. We don't agree with our wives about everything. We certainly don't have to agree with everybody sitting right next to us. Can't we just get along and worship the Lord and bring him glory? Or why do we have to talk about all of our button issues? I used to call myself non-denominational, but that's now a denomination. So I just, NA. I don't like any of those names. Show Cornelius how. Oh, maybe. Well, Cornelius is sitting in my mail basket today, just chilling in my mail basket. What are you doing in there? Word of God is all we need. Amen, JP. You know what's funny is that I'm not going to give any examples, but several denominations, that's all they talk about is their differences. So if you go to I'm not going to say which denominations. If you go to a certain denomination and you sit in their pews, you're going to hear a sermon every week about their hot topic issue. And you go to another denomination, they're going to talk every week about the thing on their hot topic issue. We can't just stick to the foundations of the things that we need to do in encouraging each other and exercising our faith and building the body of Christ with our spiritual gifts. We have to talk about tongues or baptism or whatever every week, and it's just I'm sick of talking about all that stuff. Not even that important. Let's stick to the foundational things. Thought about a Christmas tree and the cat. I have a kitten and everything climbs the highest shelves in the closet, worried about doing a tree. The kids will think it's hilarious. That's what Andrea would say. Yeah, she'll probably climb the tree, and the kids will love it and think it's funny. It'll be a great memory, and she will just welcome it. I'd be going, no, get out of the tree, Cornelius, and she'd be saying, ah ha ha, look at that. The kids would look at Claudia laughing. It's so cute. She helped me not to panic. Rule number 1 is not to panic. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Let's be ignorant. I had to look up what begot meant. Thy. Yeah, don't here, Kimberly. Don't read a King James. Go get yourself English Standard Version, ESV, or New American Standard Version, NASB. Find one of those and put your King James Bible on the shelf. That might make people angry, but the best Bible version is the one you'll read. So forget worrying about learning about begats and thys and all that stuff. You need a yin to your yang. I'm not sure what that's a reference to, but I sure do. Bunch of rakes slapping my face. That's right. Andrea loved that scene. Loved that scene in the movie. She thought it was so funny. I was just going to pull over my 7-foot Christmas tree yesterday. I thought they was hilarious. I'm sure. What's the viewers up to? You guys give us a bunch of likes. It might have gone up. It was at 490 something. I don't know what it is now. Oh, insomnia. Is time different in heaven? Don't know. Nobody knows. Anybody that claims they know is wrong. That having been said, entering into the Tom Mills opinion zone, if we believe Einstein to be correct with his theory of relativity, and I do, that when you do not have mass, you will not have time as well. So I believe the spirit has no mass, and therefore whatever they are in heaven probably are outside of time. So that having been said, I don't know what time is. Time just may be an illusion for all we know. So I can't even tell you what time is here. Well, there's a little more people there. Hey, Danielle. Feeling blue this evening? I'm doing better talking to you guys. I've only shed a little bit of tears, but I'm doing okay. There's no concept of time in heaven. Well, I mean, unless you've been there, you can't know that. It says that the angels in heaven rejoice when one sinner repents. That means that they know time, and they're watching and they're waiting for that person to repent. There's also the part in Revelation where it says the people who were martyred for their testimony were given robes and told to wait a little while longer. So if there's people waiting longer in heaven, there has to be some concept of something called time. Maybe Earth has time. I certainly don't know what it is, but I'm not going to say that it is or isn't there. I'm very, very much a stickler. If you guys know me, I'm not going to say anything that the Bible doesn't say, even if it's really fun and probably accurate. Isn't it a real life with Michelle? I'm sorry, Liza. Prayers your way. Oh, you are a good fan, Lydia. I'm sure I died and came back alive. I don't know if you did or you didn't, but if you did, I'll bet you don't still know the answer to those questions. I read some saying we can be married in heaven. I don't think love disappears. I had that revelation when I was thinking about it here. You know, there's that verse that says they will neither marry nor be given in marriage, which still leaves room for existing relationships, by the way. But besides that, that verse that's often quoted is not about what you think it's about. And you can see that by Jesus' response. Whose wife will she be? And Jesus says, you're in error because you do not know the scriptures nor the power of God. And it says, they will be like the angels. But then it says, about the dead rising, have you never heard what it says? I am the God of Abraham, I am the God of Isaac, I am the God of Jacob. He is not the God of the dead, of the living. You are badly mistaken. So Jesus' response to that question is way off base unless you understand the question they're asking. They're actually asking about the afterlife at all. That's the question, what it means. When they say resurrection, they generally mean afterlife. There is no afterlife because they believe that you slept in the ground before the resurrection. So, yeah, we're getting deep in the weeds here. But that doesn't mean there isn't marriage, and it's certainly not like it is now. The marriage covenant ends at death. That doesn't mean that we're not going to love them anymore. I think a lot about heaven now that Andrea's passed away and what that's like. And there's several weird beliefs out there about heaven which cannot be proven by Scripture. But among those are a lot of variations of you are so holy and amazing that I can no longer love you, or I believe that you used to be my husband. Weren't you the one you referred to as Tommy? Yes, I have grown beyond the need of loving in the way that you loved, and so I am so holy that I don't really love you anymore, kind of a thing. I don't agree with any of that nonsense. I believe that she's the same person that she always was. I believe this world is the world that prepared us for the next world. Now, does that mean we're going to, well, forget it. It's not going to be exactly the same as it is here, obviously. But time is a measure, second law of thermodynamics with the thermometer for heat. Maybe. I've watched enough videos about time to know that for every person that can nail it down, there's 1,000 others that can upset that. So I'm more than time. I'm more concerned with the concept of the present. What is the present? That's a much more fascinating concept to me than time. World Wide Web. Remind me of Larry Hackman, I dream of Jeannie with your arms crossed. Can't read the Bible all by itself because some of it are myths of origin and you are left to decipher without guidance or stories. I disagree, Nora. I disagree highly. So I don't think that there's myths of origin in there at all. The creation story is a big sticking point for a lot of people because of our atheistic, secular, scientific worldview. I think it bears out quite nicely as a non-myth, but I know these days that's a declining view. Marital legal relations after this life. Well, you don't have a Bible verse that says that, Mr. Chad. That may be very well true, but the Bible doesn't say that. Again, the marriage covenant is unto death. I said that already. But that doesn't mean your love stops. That doesn't mean there's no love in heaven. I know that's not correct. I know there is love in heaven. So the point is what is an earthly marriage? Genesis is attacked for a reason. That's true. It's true. Time will be swallowed up by eternity. I mean, I don't know what that means. I mean, it sounds good, but as somebody who can't explain the time I'm living in now, I certainly can't explain eternity or what gets swallowed up where. Jesus says if we live by believing in him, we'll never die. So heaven is therefore just a change of address. You just literally quoted the passage. Yeah, I quoted it saying that's not what it's about. No longer married. I do not think that's Jesus' point. And that's not what Don Preston believes either. He has a pretty good video on it. It says, whose wife will she be? It says they don't need to marry nor be given in marriage. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not saying you're married in heaven. But what is marriage? What is marriage? I think it's a covenant bond by the physical relationship that man and woman become one flesh together. I don't think we have a one flesh relationship in heaven. But if you act like she's not going to be my friend, I'm not going to know her or talk to her, she's not going to love me, I'm not going to love her, I think that's nonsense. And from that point of view, what is marriage? So what I think of marriage as a human being is her and me living in the same house, loving each other, raising our kids, and enjoying life together. I think that's all going to continue. And I'm not raising kids, but we're going to still, that's all going to be in place. So we're not going to be having sex and having babies anymore. But our love is still going to be there. I'm convinced of that. I would agree with you there, Chad. That's the point. The two will become one flesh. My kids are literally one flesh of me and Andrea. Half my DNA, half her DNA. Through childbearing, we become one flesh. There's literally one piece of flesh walking around that's half of me and half of her. And that's going to stop, obviously. But well, I mean, again, marriage is no longer a thing. What does that mean, Chad? I think when we talk about marriage here, if I say my marriage is doing good, whatever that is still around in heaven. Now, we can call it Flava Jewy in heaven, or I can call it my best friend in heaven, or how much I like my wife a whole lot, and I like talking to her, and we tell funny jokes together. We can call whatever the relationship is that you want. I think from a human perspective, we call marriage a relationship. And I believe that relationship holds true. Now, if we get to the legalist covenant part of it, and the sex and having children, is that what it means? I don't know. I don't know how that all works. But what I'm trying to dispel is people have taken that, Chad. In fact, I think most people read that verse in Matthew, and they say there's no marriage in heaven, and as soon as my wife dies, I'll never see her again, and when I see her, she'll be just doing this, and I'm going to stay, and being all super holy to where she doesn't have time for me anymore, and she loves every other guy as much as she loves me, and I don't think any of that's true. And so I very purposefully attack this argument from a very specific angle to dispel that idea, rather than getting into the weeds of what actually is happening anymore. Obviously the marriage covenant ends at death, obviously. But apart from the physical relationship, I don't know that there's anything else as a result of that. And I have a lot of people who watch this that are widows, that are dealing and they're grieving, they're going through these difficult times or will be soon. And so I'd rather talk about that than talk about what I think is go back and forth to the eschatological perspectives of what they were actually asking Jesus there, is more along the lines of what's important rather than him saying, there's no marriage in heaven. Good luck. Your wife's gone forever. That's how a lot of people read that stuff. The feast and the marriage supper of the Lamb. Yes, we are the bride of Christ now. Either way, you're no longer married. That's all I'm saying. Argue with others when you talk to them. What do you mean by married? That's what you mean. What do you mean by married? You give me a definition of married, and I'll tell you whether or not we're that in heaven. And you can call it whatever name you want to call it. It doesn't change in essence. It's the flesh covenant that ends. Agreed. That's generally where I'm at, JP. I, of course, don't know, having never been to heaven myself. But if we're being honest, I think about the different opinions about heaven that people have, and I worry about them sometimes. I don't want some of them to be true. Some people believe that God absorbs our consciousness. They go off that verse in Ecclesiastes that says, when the dust returns to the ground it came from, and the spirit returns to God who gave it. So that takes, see, the spirit returns to God. It all just kind of goes back into him, and he kind of remembers what you did up here, but you're not really conscious anymore. You're not really a person anymore. You just float around in God, and you're just kind of part of his memories now. And I don't like that view of heaven. And there's a bunch of other view of heavens I don't like. One of which that I struggle with was whether or not Andrea will know who I am in heaven. And if you guys have watched my road to grief video I did for the 1-year anniversary of Andrea dying, I discuss a dream that I had in which I still believe God allowed me to talk to Andrea from earth in heaven. I actually got to talk to her via a phone call type thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go watch that video and you can make your own judgment of what you think. And of course, maybe I just ate bad tacos, but the more I think about it, the more I think I did talk to her. And you know what? The best part about that was she was still the same person that I always knew. And she still loved me the way she always loved me. And that's my encouragement that I want to give to the whole world. And so when I talk about that verse in Matthew about no more marriage in heaven, I am thinking of that. And I'm thinking of how I struggled with that. And I wanted to know if that was going to be true. That's what I want to know. I don't want to know if I'm going to wear a ring in heaven and whether or not I can see other people. That's not what I am worried about with the covenant of marriage. I don't care about any of that. So that's why I'm very careful in the way I worded it up. I don't mean to keep bringing this into Bible study stuff. This is just something I like to talk about, and it leaks out from time to time, and you're going to have to just deal with it. For all my atheist friends who are probably wanting to turn off at any point, I appreciate you for hanging in there. I'll reel it back into something more fun. Chuck Norris died from COVID? That would ruin some of his jokes. Is that true? George, if anyone doesn't like it, they'll know what to do. My husband and I have been gone for 36 years. I still feel married in my heart. I always love him and see him in heaven. I think so too. Well, hey, Ang Ho. Good morning. At least you weren't talking about bricklaying. Well, that's true. Now, bricklaying comes from a long tradition of Deco versus Nouveau. No, I'm just kidding. faith and beliefs. Why don't you always get offended and telling you you're wrong? Oh, that's great, Danielle. Jokes posted in the background for those who think it's getting too serious. That's good. That's to define marriage. So you did it. Oh, I missed it. If you defined it, I didn't see it. Marriage is a physical relationship, legal bond ordained by God to maintain order of fleshly existence. That's the crux of it. Okay, so on that definition of marriage, I would say yes. That's not in heaven. My definition of marriage is not that, and I would argue I think most people's definition of marriage isn't that. I took sacred stories in high school and college. All my teacher and professors from afar. Professors were widely believed to say Genesis was written in exile. The Israelites hoped that God was with them. It's extremely common, Nora. I know I've talked to many people. I've actually made videos on the topic of the covenant creation idea. I don't agree with that at all. I personally believe, and I think Acts testifies, Paul, when he was testifying, said, from one man he made all nations of men. So Paul referred to it as literally historically accurate and true. But you're right. And you know what? There's a lot of people that agree with you. That's why I will never talk about Genesis. Never. I will never talk about the creation story. I may reference it. I may bring it up on occasion. But you want to divide a Bible study, you bring up the creation story. People will be throwing things, slitting their wrists, stoning people in the parking lot. It's one of the sure ways to ruin a Bible study is to talk about the creation account. Sadly, it shouldn't be. And I think there's a lot of great things that are in it. I can tell you a lot of really fun things that I have, but it's one of those things that are just going to ruin people. And it really isn't that big a deal. I wasn't there. You weren't there. We can never hash it out. We can never prove one way or the other, ever. So, second account of Genesis as he wrote the first 5 books. Jesus quoted from Genesis. Oh, he did. I know where you're coming up, JP, and I could certainly give a lot of opinions myself, but I try not to offend people. I know many people who are very knowledgeable, very studied, theological thinkers who believe that Genesis is not literally describing creation, and that's okay. I understand. I understand where they're coming from, and I appreciate their views on it, and a lot of the lessons they teach I think are great. Jordan Peterson is one of them. Jordan Peterson talks about Genesis all the time. Jordan Peterson's a flippin' genius. I disagree with him on what if Genesis is literal or not, but his lessons he uses to teach about Genesis, I think they're spot on. So Scripture has to be applied to a person's time and culture. You'd have to tell me specific verses. Read my part 2 story. I apologize for all we had done. Never hurt each other. Tried to how did she on her way? Exactly what really her. First night I went to sleep. I had dreamed about my sister's passing. I had a dream. You know, and we were talking in our minds. If that makes sense. Was that really her? I don't know if it was really her. That similar thing happened to me, Jennifer. Similar thing happened to me. I don't have the answer to that. I think it was real, and I will go to my death thinking it's real. I can't prove it, and I totally leave room in my brain for it to be crazy. Whatever the point is God gave it to me to be comforting. And if it's not true, I believe it's based on truth. Likely a few in the chat at least participating that can go nose to nose with Tom on Bible things. Not that I'm all that great at it. There are others that are far better than me. I can go nose to nose with them. That's cool. I don't know how we got on that topic, but I'm unfortunately I think I'm right about everything, and I struggle with arrogance, and I've studied the Bible an immensely large number. I've been to the Bible thousands of times. Literally thousands of times. And I have very strong opinions about it, and some of those are in a state of flux. But some of them I just find not that important. Fun to talk about with friends and family, but in a conversation for a lot of people in maintaining a Bible study and building the body of Christ, I'm careful about certain topics. That was to someone else, Tom. You missed all my chats that are directed to you. Sorry. I'm sorry. When I'm talking, I'm not reading. Men are not duplexers. In fact, I don't think anybody are duplexers. Women get credit for multitasking. I think women are masterers. The only thing you can truly duplex are things you've memorized. I can recite the books of the Bible while I do algebra. That doesn't mean that I'm doing two things at once. You can only concentrate on one thing at once. So I'm not reading. I apologize. All roads do not lead to heaven. That's the darn truth, Pink Lilacs. I absolutely hope you didn't think that I was saying anything like that. One thing I can't argue because I've never read the whole Bible. Well, you're brave to admit that, Danielle. Most people have. I think the official number is less than 5% of people have read the whole Bible. So, it's arrogance or passion? Aha! It depends on who you talk to. I think it's passion. Other people decipher that as arrogance. If you look about some of the studies about how an INTJ thinks, INTJs will always come off as arrogant. It doesn't mean they're not right, though. Not choosing my chest as a road leading to hell. I think that's in Keno 472. I dreamed she would be sitting in the passenger seat while I was driving. It made sense because she hated driving the front seat. It made me know she was safe now. Oh, that's awesome. And by doing Mass daily, I hear the Bible front to back every year. That's awesome. That's awesome, Jennifer. I was always of the mindset, why eat diluted, chewed up, regurgitated baby food when you can have the real truth at your fingertips? That is, are sermons good? They can be. Can sermons be bad? Sure. Can the Bible be bad? No. So if you're going to spend time studying, you might as well just read the Bible. Again, that doesn't mean people can't teach. There's not other things that can be learned, but you certainly got to use discernment when you're dealing with anything else other than the Bible. You don't got to use discernment when you're dealing with the Bible. Infinite loving heart of Christ will usurp man's finite intelligence every time. That's the darn truth. That's why he's chosen. But still, you can see his heart. Remember when Jesus laughed and said, Father, this was your good pleasure to hide these things from the wise and learned and reveal them to little children. That's what God likes to do. God likes to turn crap on its head. He likes to put the king in a manger, in a trough, and let him appear to shepherds. That's what God likes. God likes irony, and we should too. Sent you a picture of how I watch your stream from bed. You can show it if you want. What am I looking at? Was it a laptop? All I see is a foot. That's Chad's place, apparently. What are some good TP substitutes? Oh, man. Takes a soul 3 days to travel from Earth to heaven. 3 days after passing, my aunt sent me a message. Huh. Live a good, clean life and commit no crime, but do not believe. Do you believe people go to heaven? That's a very pointed question. I normally would stay away from topics like that, but no, I don't believe any amount of works is going to get you to heaven. Jesus says, I'm the only way. He says, all of our righteousness is filthy rags, and it's by grace we are saved, and this not of ourselves. It's a gift. of God, not of works, so that no man may boast. So doing good won't get us to heaven. So otherwise, Jesus didn't need to come. Is able to heal when they get to heaven? I don't know what heaven's like. I don't think they have physical bodies. Flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God, it says. So I don't believe they have a body anymore. So does that mean that they have some sort of... I'm going to go Matrix on you here. Matrix referred to what the body they had while they're in the Matrix as residual self-image. So I like that idea. I currently camp in the theory of residual self-image. I don't know what heaven's like. Why are you asking me? I have no idea. I'm just spouting garbage I can't prove. So can't tell you. Yeah, I don't ever get into the details of that, but Christianity is a lot more complicated than I thought. It could be more complicated, but I think it's actually less complicated. Jesus said, "Whoever who believes in me will live even though he dies." That's it. There's another part where it says that when you believe in me, I can't quite, in John, they will no longer be judged, but have crossed over from death to life. So it's belief in Jesus and what he did for you and dying on the cross because you can't be perfect. No dense diseased bodies in heaven. I think so. I think so. One of these days, I've been planning for a year in my mind of a YouTube movie night. So a publicly available open source movie that we can watch all together at the same time and have popcorn and have fun and have a fun little movie party with just YouTube people. The movie that I'm planning on watching is called Flatland. Flatland, I think, is just the kind of mindset that we need to help us understand, or help us realize we don't understand what heaven will be like. And so Flatland is based on an ancient book, 1800s, I think, book. And the full version is on YouTube. It's still a copyrighted movie, but it's been there for years. I don't know what's going to happen if we decide to watch it together and play a YouTube video, but my planning is to watch that with you guys. I haven't got the details all exactly ironed out yet on how we do it, but I'd like to watch it with you guys. And I think it's a powerful movie for helping us understand how much we don't understand. And just by having fun speculating with you about heaven is pointless. I have fun, but it's pointless. Flatland is awesome. Yep, it is. People tell me my grandson will walk and talk against heaven. Do you believe that? See, that's the thing. I don't know, Cheryl. I really just don't know. And we'll watch that movie, and you will understand now what I'm saying. So, let me ask you this way. Would you be hungry if you didn't have a mouth and a stomach? You know, I've shared this before, but certain people that have had, like, say they had an arm and they lose their arm in an accident, they can feel their arm still. They can say, I'm wiggling my fingers now. And their arm will sometimes itch, even though they don't have one anymore. But which is fascinating. But people who are born without an arm, they never have that experience. So they don't know what it feels like. It's like, to a blind person, try to explain what color is. There's a guy who tries this stuff, a blind guy who he goes through these questions, and people try to explain color to him, and it just makes no sense. They try really hard, using all the language we can, and he'll never understand what color is. It's a completely foreign concept to him. I think that's what it's going to be about heaven. And you're going to say, will I be healed in heaven? Will I be able to do this in heaven? Am I going to be diseased? Is that going to be? It's just like, I don't know. It's like trying to explain Final Fantasy 13 to a lemon, to quote the ninja. It's not something on our radar as something that can be comprehensible. And the corruptible puts on incorruptible. If I go watch daily mass every day for 3 years, well, I have read the entire Bible, including the books Martin Luther outright proves Catholicism the most. Yeah, I'm not going to touch that one, unfortunately. Fourth dimension is at right angles to the lower 3 dimensions. Try as you might, you cannot possibly comprehend higher dimensions. There was one of my most favorite things in Adventure Time. Adventure Time is just a silly cartoon, but there's one part that he blew my mind with the idea of shadows, on how a one-dimensional item casts a two-dimensional shadow. A three-dimensional item casts a two-dimensional shadow. Therefore, a fourth-dimensional thing casts a three-dimensional shadow. Anyways, I can't explain it right. You'll have to watch it. But search YouTube for three-dimensional shadow Adventure Time, and you'll probably find it. But I almost think that that's what Earth could possibly be. So I don't know. It's just fun to think about. Lady I knew before she passed had eyes open as if she was looking at someone and was saying, "I don't want to," several times, and she passed. Do you have any idea what it means? I don't want to go. I don't know, but I talked to a lady who she's passed away now. Her company, her home health agency, was the one that was going to watch over Andrea when she was dying. She told me all kinds of stories. She saw all kinds of people die because they had a hospice thing, and she had all kinds of stories about. She said one lady one time told her, "Well, there's Jesus over there on the horizon. He's going to come get me, but he's 3 days away yet. He's getting closer. He's getting closer." And anyways, 3 days, she said, I can't remember what she said when she died, but something. And she died 3 days later. And it was just like, what? I mean, I don't never know what that kind of stuff means. Does that mean their brain is just flipping out and hallucinating? Maybe. Or maybe they actually saw something we didn't. I don't know. Flat Earth. Flat Earth, I'm not going to talk about. I will tell you, I'm a Flat Earth sympathizer. I am a Globe Earth. But I sympathize with people because I think that their argumentation can be very good. And I think they get laughed at a lot of times. But I'm a sympathizer. But I'm a Globe Earth. That's not something it's fun to talk about. Wish Tom would speak on it. DMT. I missed what you're talking about, Jennifer Lynn. God's love and support, or is it you believe in him so much he's just a part of your life? I don't know how to feel like he's watching over us. I don't either, and I don't know. So I know I don't think he wants us to know, but I think I feel his presence sometimes, and I think he's watching, and he's think he's there, but I don't ever know. JP, diseases, disability disease will exist in heaven. Happened because of the fall. Again, we look forward to see what he has in store, which is going to be awesome. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to go from that. Even before she passed, yeah, okay. Read that one already. I'm not sure what DMT is about, so I don't know that I. Oh, DMT is spirit molecule. Oh, I see. I haven't looked into it, so I can't say. It is fun to talk about, and in the right company, I would have a lot of fun talking about that. But I also know that it would be very offensive to people that hold other view, and that's again the kind of thing that I think is so unimportant to talk about, and I don't want to offend people. Alrighty, well, I think it's about time to wrap this up. Oh yeah, we're right about 2 hours, so that works about right. That's been my general stream length for doing these selfish for Tom only streams. So I very much appreciate them, and I selfishly enjoy them, because when I'm talking to you guys, I am no longer hurting for a short period of time. And it lasts afterwards for a while. If I time these things out right, I can go right to sleep. But I enjoy them very much. Yeah, I understand the concept. I think I may even have seen something in passing about it, but I don't know enough. I tend to be skeptical of things like that, to be honest with you, but I certainly don't know. I don't know anything about how life works. So I'm not going to say it's not real or isn't real, but I'll just say I'm skeptical, but I will check it out. What was that one? But go a year ago or so, but the growth in your parenting, confidently guiding your kids has been huge. Really be encouraged. Well, thank you, Rebecca. I haven't been able to watch those things. One of these times, I'm going to have to watch the story of when we were in the hospital. I've never watched those videos, and I'm certain I'm never going to watch them again until, if God gives me a new wife someday, I hope that she will watch them with me and be there with me while I watch them, and so she can see what we were going through. And I want that to be known. And someday I'll watch them, but I can't now. So check my questions. Okay, Janet. Do you ever pray for your visions from God to be given to you in your sleep? The only time was when I asked, I just was calling to God that I was thinking it was really unfair that I never got to say goodbye to Andrea. It bothered me a lot. And that's one of my greatest regrets, especially considering I had the chance. We had that plane ride back, and it was loud. I could have just unbuckled my seatbelt and went over there and started talking to her. It was so loud and small, but I didn't. I should have said goodbye, and that was a huge regret. And so in praying, I was telling him how much I lamented the fact that I couldn't get to say goodbye. And it was about a week or two later that I had the dream where I got to see her and talk to her. Janet. What did I miss, Janet? I'm not reading anything else while I'm scrolling up. Boy, I went up a long time, Janet, and I haven't seen you in a long time. Maybe you had too long of a sentence. It won't let you post it sometimes if it's too long. I do not see anything up there. I'm sorry. I'll check my messages on Messenger if you want to say something. You love you, Tom. It's I feel helpless in your grief. It's nice to know we can bring you some comfort. And believe me, it's nice for me to do it. They're totally selfish. You don't need a wife. You've got you and the kids. That's just not true for me. I understand there's many women that happens to, and they don't ever want to get married again. In fact, Andrea was one of them. She said she'd never get married again if I die. But it's not me. God built me for this. He wouldn't have given me these desires. It says the desires of your heart. He wouldn't have given them to me. It's not for me. So I pray very much that he does that. Young will dream dreams, old see visions. Oh yeah. But if you want your mind blown, look at the context of that at Pentecost. Peter said that was happening at Pentecost. Those verses were fulfilled at Pentecost. Those verses from Amos. She knew, Tom. Some of us didn't have that. The best part, and I can't let it settle. Can't let it settle. But when she was in that, she had been in so much pain. And when she was sitting there in the stretcher in the plane and we couldn't talk to each other, She had her hands up here on her chest, and she looked over me and just did this. I can't reproduce it or I'll cry. Just this smile, and she's given me this smile so many times. And she'd smile like that at me sometimes, and I'd say, "What are you smiling at?" And she says, "I'm just looking at my husband, and I just love you so much." And that's what the look she was giving me. So that's the piece that I have, is that she gave me that smile. It was the goodbye that I sort of had. You said if it happens, it happens. It would be God's will. Well, I don't see these desires leaving. So unless the Lord wants me to be miserable the rest of my life, and maybe He does, and I will walk that road if that's what He wants from me. But I like to think that He will grant me the desires of my heart in that, or else take these desires away. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. No, Judah doesn't have braces yet. We are. I'm trying hard not to tap into savings. So we took him in. We took him in and got all the pre-work done. We were going to go get him braces, and then they said he had not to get him braces until he gets all his cavities filled. So we got all his cavities filled, and they said you shouldn't get braces until you can prove he can brush his teeth good enough and take care of them, because braces give you more cavities, and so it's been a bit of a trek. But we're definitely going to get him braces. We just haven't done it yet, and I had a lot of high expenses with Andrea's headstone and lots of things I had to buy, pay taxes, and I can't even remember. We got the new couch, and so I'm just laying low a little while on monetary stuff. So yeah, the dentist bills. I spent many thousands of dollars on Judah's dental work. He needed to get his braces, and then Sophia's had lots of dental work, and she still has some more to have. And it's probably been about $3,000 worth already. So we're just trying to take it easy and not spend beyond our means, but it is definitely going to happen at some point. Invisalign won't work for him. It won't work for him. He would need headgear, something that you can't do with Invisalign. John MacArthur is one of those guys from the Reformation, right? I can't remember what exactly he was responsible of. In my mind, it says I liked some of the things he had to say, but I can't recall, to be honest with you. Thank you, Jennifer. We have the money. I don't need that, but we're gonna get it. As far as your response, Celestial Soul, about starting to GoFundMe, I wouldn't need to do that. I'm thinking about putting up the Patreon thing. There's lots of people that would very much like to give money still, and there isn't a good outlet for that right now. The super chats, a lot is taken from those, and so that may be a better way for people that insist they want to give. It's a better use of money, probably. So I may put that up just for that. So sometimes I wonder if braces are worth it. We did it with 3 kids, and they don't wear the retainer like they should, so teeth are shifting. That's me. That was me. I had my braces, and I was told that I had to wear my retainer for the same amount of time that I wore my braces, which was 3 years. So I had braces for 3 years, wore my retainer for 3 years, and I took that garbage out as soon as I did. The only thing it was ever good for was eating Captain Crunch, because it protected the roof of my mouth. Other than that, I hated it. It made your breath stink. It wasn't fun. I'd rather my teeth move a little bit, and they have. So present day preacher. Oh, why did I think John MacArthur was a reformed guy? Or not reformed, a reformer. I know he's of the reformed faith. Um, Reformed have a lot of things going for them. They have a lot of things that I disagree with. But again, I don't like denominations. They're good. Labels can be useful when I know where they're coming from, being able to point in the direction of how I want to talk to them. But I'd rather just say, oh, you believe that I have no free will? Okay, I don't believe that. And I wish we could just have this nice conversation rather than having to say, one denomination or another. Very thankful for having braces. I have a nice smile now. Mine's not terrible. I had fangs. I was so hurt that they got rid of my fangs. I had my canines grew up here, and they were really long. And when they finally, I had to get my braces all put up on them. They pulled the canines down where they belong, and when they did, they stuck out. So my teeth had literal vampire teeth. I'd have straight teeth, and I had a jagged edge and another jagged edge, and the rest. It was the coolest thing in the whole world. And then on the last day when I got my braces off, he grinded them off. He didn't even ask me. I was so bitter. So he grinded off about 1/8 of an inch of tooth off of my canines. And I had the coolest teeth in the whole world. Well, good, Nora. I enjoyed that very much. The kids brush your teeth right? No. We're very much against toothbrushing. So we don't allow our kids to brush our teeth in our house. No. Yes, of course they brush their teeth. Oh yeah, I wish I still had my fangs. I'm so bitter. I can put my fingers right on the teeth instantly because it was such a scarring thing. Just getting that much tooth grinded off was very painful. All right, it's way over 2 hours now. Vampire bite marks. Oh, I did chase girls around. When I was in elementary school, I absolutely chased girls around with my vampire teeth. Absolutely. I loved it. Crooked teeth can ruin one's life. I guess you have to define life. I guess anything's possible. All right, everybody. Well, I thank you so much. Thank you for the super chats, and I certainly appreciate all you guys have done for me. And don't forget to like the video if you're going to leave. If you enjoyed it, give the video a like, leave a comment. All those things, filter into the YouTube algorithm. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I saw a stat on our analytics that said that just under half the people that watch this channel are not subscribed. And you might not think it makes a big difference, but it absolutely makes a difference. And it helps out a lot. You want to know how I'm going to get braces? Honestly, that's how it's going to be. The YouTube money is a great extra income, and it's very, very helpful. So subscribe if you're not. We really appreciate it, and we will talk to you guys sometime soon. What? Oh my gosh, Danielle, you made me laugh. Oh, that was almost a real laugh. It was a nervous real laugh, but it was real. All right, I will see you guys later.